All right. I hope this. I'm gonna put this microphone a little down a little bit. Hopefully, it doesn't really interfere. It's not crazy or anything like that. Well, I was sitting back watching one of the this is a YouTube clip about the Dark Rangers. Well, Lord Zed Dark Rangers and MMPR, and I was really looking at it, and I had to make this video this late, and I normally don't make videos like this, but I'm just sitting up there watching MMPR. And quick before I go too far in this video, I really hope that the Playmate Power Rangers, which I believe they will, they should. I got good confidence in that toy line for where we can get other seasons. I wish we can kept they would have kept the Lightning collection going, which I'm hearing that they're gonna have a deluxe edition. It's possible because Godzilla has a deluxe edition and Ninja Turtles has a deluxe edition in the Playmates. To my knowledge, I know Godzilla kind of do, but I don't know about the Ninja Turtles. Maybe they do too, but I don't. I collected the core Turtles many years ago. This is off the 2012 toy line, and I did collect them. Never really touched them, but I'm probably gonna touch them and make comic books out of them because I like to make figure comics, I guess. Anyway, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, anyway, I was sitting back looking at the Lord Zed Evil Rangers, which I still say they should have used the Die Ranger suits, but that's here or there, and I make comments about it, and they should. I'm gonna put a picture up with the Die Rangers. This is how they look like. And go to Tubi TV if you've never seen Die Rangers. I barely seen Die Rangers. I only seen a couple episodes. It was pretty cool, little from what I saw. I haven't really got into it. But yeah, so I have watched Sentai, the Zoo Rangers, the Old Ranger. I still say Zeo was better than the Old Rangers though, but that's just me. But I need to get back on topic of what this video was about. This is about the Lord Zed Rangers. And I was sitting back looking at how they did everything. You had a bad version of Jason, bad version of Kimberly, bad version of Billy, bad version of Zach, bad version of Trini. And Tommy of course was there. There was no rip from him. And I thought about something. And you know that Tommy actually existed. This is like season 2. There was a Tommy in the core good side Rangers, right? Well, the 2017 movie is kind of fascinating, actually. I know people are going to say, what are you talking about the 2017 movie before? Because everybody just gave up on that movie. But maybe the movie should be relooked at again. And I know this is going to be a controversial video. Some people might going to disagree with what I say. It's normal. You can disagree. I'm not going to be mad about it. I made a video a long time ago about the Megaforce Rangers being evil Rangers. They could be. I still stand by that. But that doesn't really too much make any sense. I mean, it kind of does if you're going off Sentai. If you're going off Sentai, you know how the Pirate Rangers, because they were thieves. And also, if you go back, the A-Squads, they turned bad, And also, who else? And you also had the police, the Lupin Rangers, the Pat Rangers versus the Lupin Rangers. Well, that's pretty funny actually because they have been bad Rangers. People might say, "Oh, we can't have bad Rangers." Well, that's kind of weird because you had Abba Killer, which is the White Dino Thunder Ranger. You had the Thunder Rangers. You also had Tommy. But I'm a little drifting off about this video. The Green Ranger, Tommy. You had Zeo Ranger 5 turning bad. You had quite a Titanium Ranger, on so on. Most of these Rangers was either possessed or brainwashed, or which is kind of possessed and brainwashed, kind of the same thing, but not really. Or they might have had their own agenda, like the Quantum Ranger. He easily could have been a bad Ranger, but the thing about the Quantum Ranger, he could have went to the bad side, but more self-controlled. But what I mean by that is he chose that route. Well, and also you had Daishi, but he was more possessed. Jarrett was bad. but the Daishi came out and took over Jared's body and became Jared. And you know. But the cool thing about the 2017 movie, I think we all missed a point. And it's funny because I think it was unintentional, and I believe it was unintentional. That in Mighty Morphin Season 2, you had the MMPR Zed Rangers. Lord Zed picked these 5 guys, which were the opposites of the normal Teen Rangers, and it was like a revert. And he gave them powers to. I didn't like the suits. Nobody liked the suits, and they literally missed an opportunity actually of having them battle. You could have, and this is Saban. This is the part that I didn't understand. Maybe somebody pitched it. Maybe Saban just said nah, But this would have been the perfect opportunity to have a 6-part series. This should have been a 6-part series or maybe that just an overkill, but maybe a 3-part or a 4-part series or parts of the Rangers versus other Rangers and having them battle each other. And I think that would have really, really marked the kids out. And I know I would have been one of them, because now Tommy's in the middle losing his powers anyway. So you doing this, you literally, these Rangers should have been so strong. This could have been these Rangers beat the Power Rangers. Like even the Powerpuff Girls did this right when they had the Rowdy Rough Boys. After the Powerpuff Girls being so popular, and it was so popular with boys, they made a boys version of the Powerpuff Girls, I guess you could say. But the Rowdy Rough Boys, they could have actually done something with it. I think that was the biggest missed opportunity back in the 90s, actually. And I think that is the most craziest thing of how could you not have literally used the Die Ranger suits. They could have used the Die Ranger suits. They could have used the Zoo Ranger suits and literally just went out. Or they could have just made American version suits. Maybe they had to go through the Die Ranger suits and made American version Mighty Morphin Power Ranger suits and had them to be the Evil Ranger suits, like American exclusive. Had a 4-part series, 3-part series, whatever, and then had something really major happen. Kind of similar to what they did with the Psycho Rangers, or had them turn into monsters. But I don't think they would have got that far. But they would have all been teenagers. But whatever. I mean, you could think. I know I'm just rambling. But back to the 2017 movie, I also think that this was unintentionally a movie about the evil Dark Rangers. And I know people are going to say, what? What? Like, you're out of your mind. Well, if you look at the season 2 Dark Rangers and look at the 2017 movies, they had a lot of similarities. The Yellow Ranger reminded me of a Becky G, actually. I was looking at her really good. I said, wait a minute. They unintentionally did this. Only thing that's changed was Billy. They made it a black guy, and then they put a Korean as the Black Ranger. And so it was a black guy, Blue Ranger, and a Korean or Japanese. So I'm so sorry. Maybe he's not, I don't know. But I just want to say, well, I should say Asian. Black Ranger, which was cool because you had Adam, I believe, took over, and I think he was Asian, half Asian, Philippine, something of that nature. I apologize if I got your culture wrong. And but anyway, put it this way: as I think they unintentionally made a movie about the Dark Rangers, and I think that's why the movie we didn't understand it. I think these were Dark Rangers in training, and I know people are gonna say what, and it might have not been, but if you really look at this movie again and really critically think, they didn't really face anything besides Rita killing one of the Rangers, well, close to killing one of the Rangers. And if you remember, it was Lord Zed that put Rita back in the dumpster, because before the whole Rita pulling the potion thing and having Lord Zed fall in love with her, which I think that was a trick. And she might have really fell in love with him, throughout the season. I think it was all a trick to keep, personally, because people might say, "What?" Well, you gotta remember, these are evil beings. They're gonna do stuff to each other that's not gonna be fair or right, or to keep something oppressed. Because you gotta have somebody, like, you can't, like, trust in evil people is like, it's like a knife in the back, so you're gonna get stabbed in the back. But I think there was some love. I think really did actually start loving Lord Zed. I think that really did happen. I think it was a trick, which she basically had a love potion. I think that's what it was, to keep him under control so she can get back in power. But I think because she actually started loving Lord Zed and said, wait a minute, this is, he started getting brainwashed and he was all loopy and stuff like that. Because I think Cosmic Fury unintentionally just exposed that, actually. And or it could have been intentional, I don't know. But if you really look at it, these shows, I don't know if it was unintentional or intentional, they have rounded out the story. Because if you think about it, when Lord Zed came back in Cosmic Fury, he was the pure evil of Lord Zed before the wedding, right? They explained this. So you had got the pre-wedding Lord Zed, which was venomous, and then they had to put Lord Zed back into that state of mind again of Rita's spell, so it worked. She neutered Lord Zed in a way. But I think Brandon, going back to the 2017 movie, I think Brandon, I think I'm screwing his name up. I'm so sorry. Cranston, Billy Cranston. I think I'm saying his name out. Billy Cranston, Malcolm in the Middle, the father of Malcolm in the Middle. That's all, and also Breaking Bad. I believe he wasn't really the real Zordon. I really think he wasn't. I think he was Lord Zed in a weird way. And I know a lot of people want to get very upset when I'm saying this, and you might, like I said, you don't have to agree. This is just throwing my thoughts out. I think he was Lord Zed playing a role as Lord Zed. Or no, he was Lord Zed playing the role of Zordon, excuse me. And he recruited legit bad Rangers. And yes, they was going to take down Rita. And people say, well, okay, they'd be like, well, wait a minute. Why would they take that, why would they fight Rita? Go back to season 2. What happened with Lord Zed and Rita in season 2? Lord Zed overthrew Rita and had a coup. Happened again, if you think about it, in 1995 movie, which was another universe, with Ivan Ooze. Did a coup and took over and threw Lord Zed and Rita and the snowball. And Goldar and the rest decided to go along with Ivan Ooze. It's very possible. And if you think about it, these Rangers really wasn't fighting really for nothing, really. They was just fighting just to really take down Rita. But by who? The whole movie was flat. And I think it was unintentional. And I believe, and I know Hasbro could look at this, or whoever could look at this and say, wait a minute. They literally, because all of the Rangers, if you think about it, they looked at completely different. They didn't really have nothing really paying homage besides the Megazords, and Goldar looked like gold. I don't know what that was, but I think it was literally a training for evil, And yes, the movie probably couldn't have worked any farther. If you really think about it, it really couldn't, because Lord Zed and Zordon came from Eltar, correct? Rita was also, I believe, part of all that. So, of course, they're going to stab people in the back. Not Zordon, but Lord Zed betraying Rita and use teenagers that was really evil and actually having them take her out. And maybe in another universe or whatever. I don't know how they can spin this. But if you go back into the TV show, they kind of did the same thing, but this time Rita was already gone. So the 2017 movie, I think, was a lot darker than what we was actually led on to think, because I think it was a reboot. Maybe it was never a reboot. Maybe this was a telling of evil Rangers coming into power, like how Brightburn was, like Superman. You know how like Brightburn was actually the retell of Superman if he was been evil. Well, what if this was the retell of Dark Rangers from Mighty Morphin season 2? You know, this got to be looked at a little bit deeply because, like I said, they wasn't helping old ladies across the street. They wasn't really doing stuff like that. They were bad kids. In the MMPR version, the normal version, the TV show version, they wasn't. They would help old ladies across the street. They were actually good Samaritans. These kids were not. These kids were menace to society. And Billy, this version of Billy was dark. He was different. All of them was different. They all came from broken backgrounds. They literally all did. Like Jason was a carjacker. Billy was a hacker. Becky G was kind of more like punk rock tomboy, and Kimberly was very mysteriously off. Like she was kind of more like they was making fun of her. I think she was kind of she was on the verge like of being a killer. You know, all these guys, and I want to say Zach. That version of Zach, his mom was not doing too good, and he had to cut school just to take care of her, and they was on their last legs like he was about to rob 6 stores. You see what I'm saying here? These Rangers were not the same Rangers, MMPR Rangers, the goody two shoes. If you go back to season 2 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, you would see what I'm talking about. If you look at those Rangers and put those two together, that's the movie we had gotten in 2017. We have gotten the Dark Rangers movie. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. They like once again, when they wasn't helping old ladies across the street. They was tearing stuff up. They didn't care about the city. And you know what I'm saying? And people might say, well, yes, there wasn't really too many bystanders going around because I think this was in a dark universe. This was a dark universe. And I think those Rangers, I think maybe, and I know this is going to sound kind of crazy though. I think Rita was the good person out of all this. And I know this sounds nuts, but maybe she was taking them out, you know, and she was gonna kill them one by one. You see what I'm saying? This was not the same Power Rangers. This wasn't Ninja Steel because this movie took place in the Ninja Steel era. Put it this way: the Ninja Steel Rangers would have helped an old lady cross the street. I would actually Brody, the Red Ranger, and the Pink Ranger. Even Preston, I would have trusted them with my life before I give them to the 2017 Power Rangers movie. They'd probably carjack you, and that was the Red Ranger. You see what I'm saying here? We need to look at this movie again for what it is. I think that wasn't Zordon, and if it was Zordon, I still say it was Lord Zed. And I know at the end of the movie they said Tommy Oliver. But I don't know if that was the same Tommy Oliver or which we know it would have been that version Tommy Oliver. Because if you notice, the Dark Rangers in the 2017 movie versus the 1994 Dark Rangers were very identical. And they will fight you tooth and nail. And I'm not sitting there saying that Jason, the Mighty MMPR, this video got way too long. I'm not saying that Jason and Kimberly, the ones from the TV show, would stand up, and they will stand up to you too. But they're not going to pick fights like the other ones kind of did. And the other ones, and these guys, they were menace, man. I'm not going to sit there and say that they were bullies, but if you crossed them the wrong way, they'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? In a really menacing way. And They were dark, and I think this 2017 movie need to be looked at a little bit more than just regular MMPR. I think these were the Dark Rangers. All right, hopefully somebody can clear this up or look into this because it needs to be looked at again. All right, take care.